Raphaël and Mateo, you just won the Films After Tomorrow SSR SRG Award, which provides 100,000 Swiss francs for airtime to promote the theatrical release of the film on Swiss national television. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We are all French speakers, so we will share the same accent during this conversation. When the global pandemic began, you were working on your first feature film called Lux, which was halted at the beginning of the editing process. You have both made documentary films before. What is it that interests you most about the documentary form?
Well, Raphaël and I know each other from the kindergarten, and we actually started making some really bad short fiction films since we were like 10 years old. And then we gradually got into documentary filmmaking, not only because of the challenges it implies in terms of the approach, whether it's artistic or technical, but it also requires key characteristics such as curiosity and the need of meeting new people. And I guess that's something Raphaël and I share.
Yeah, sure. And there is something else about documentary filmmaking, is that you have to adapt to the subject you film. And it's something that we don't find in fiction, because we think in fiction you are more in control of what you think. And we like to adapt and this kind of, how do you say?
Interesting.
Improvisation, yeah.
That's exactly what we can see in your video presentation of your new project, right? With this great interruption of reality bursting into it. So what inspired you to make a film about the Swiss military? Do you think your film deals with a specifically Swiss subject, or are you searching for a universal quality?
Well, at first, the idea of the movie was to tell the story we lived with Mateo when we did the military. It was almost 10 years ago. And actually, it is a very important topic in Switzerland, the military. You can see a lot of video, picture of it in the media. The army produced a lot of picture too. But we didn't find anything that was the story we wanted to tell, the story we lived. So we start writing the project on that basis.
Yeah, and as for your second question, we do think that by focusing on details, on what makes something particular, you will reach a universal quality. And in our case, it was to determine what makes this army typically Swiss, so you can understand better the human interactions that happen in the institution.
And how would you qualify the Swissness of this both army and details you want to show to people?
One of them is the language. There is a lot of different language style. I don't know what's the name of English, but a lot of people come from a lot of different parts of the country. So it's a very big mix in the army, and you can really see like a big landscape of Swiss people in the movie, and that's something that shows the Swissness.
Yeah, and the main point is maybe the fact that the Swiss army is like a militia army, so it's a compulsory for men and voluntary for women. So you will meet a lot of people that don't want to be there or want to be there with different social class. So it's a very melting pot of different kind of people, and we really wanted to show the interaction that is going on in the institution.
And by filming a large-scale military exercise that happens only every 4 years, you chose to make a film about an unrepeatable event that takes place in a limited time frame. How did you deal with that? Did it inspire certain artistic and technical choices?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. As you said, it was a really limited time frame because we shoot the whole exercise was 10 days. So we shoot 10 days, maybe a little bit more. And we have no place for missing something. So plus, we choose to shoot the whole movie with prime lenses. So it was not a zoom lenses. So each time we need to change the lenses lenses, it takes time. We shoot on tripod, everything on tripod. And we used a 4:3 ratio. So it was all the configuration was really slowing us down, but we have no time. So yeah, everything was a surprise and we liked that. And I think all the thing we choose has a very big influence on the aesthetic of the movie right now. The constraint was a really big influence of the form of the film, to the form of the film, yeah.
So that led you to quite radical choices, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. It's almost only static shots with very few shot changes. So yeah, the aesthetic is very radical because of that.
Aside from making this first feature as a collaboration between the two of you, you recently co-founded your own production company, Jeunes Sauvages, which translates to Young Savages. Can you tell us about your choice to work as a duo and whether having your own company is an important factor in realizing the kind of films you want to make?
Well, as I said before, Raphaël and I know each other since we were young, so we always made films together. It was then important for us to continue this collaboration as we do cover most of the production process. Raphaël works as a cinematographer as well as a colorist, and in my case, I have a great interest in production and diffusion as I work for Vision du Réel Film Festival. So creating our own production company was then an important factor in order to be able to create such a project that couldn't get the support from established production houses. So yeah, in order to get basic financing in Switzerland, you need an official structure.
Yeah, and also in Switzerland is for us a pretty slow process to raise the money if you want to go by the official financement. So we wanted to shoot the movie as fast as possible. So we just built this company to be fast enough to shoot the movie on time.
You did look for an already existing production company to produce your project before starting it and creating your own production company, or you just started to shoot?
No, we did indeed look for established production house, but the fact is there were already 2 feature films on one series.
TV series.
A TV show that was happening on the Swiss Army. So because of the topic has already raised some money, the production house was like, no, there's no chance for us to work with you. So, but we stick to the idea because we thought there was something important enough to show, and we made it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the lockdown due to the global pandemic affect your artistic decisions and change the project you were working on?
Well, it really slowed down the process, but it did not change really our initial intentions. It was important for us to work on each step of the production process, but we feel now that with this kind of support from Locarno, we can definitely assure a professional completion of the film regarding the post-production.
You were supposed to work with a film editor in Paris and had to change your plans. So you did the editing. Will you finish the editing, or will you ask for an editor to come aboard on the project, or how did that change from your first scheduled plans?
Yeah, that's a good question. At first, we wanted to do the editing with somebody in Paris, and then the lockdown arrived, so we decided to do ourselves the editing at our apartment. And now the conditions are changing, and we already have contact somebody to like have a new look on the edit.
So you're gonna travel, or he or she is gonna travel.
She's gonna work on it. We hope, because we just asked her now. So.
Okay. My last question, the unprecedented and dramatic interruption to film productions brought by the pandemic has highlighted the fact that even in the best conditions, a great deal of time often goes by between the inception of a project and its completion. How do you deal with this reality?
Actually, we are kind of used to work on that low budget condition with Mateo. So it was not a big deal for us, and it even helped us to focus only on the project because we have nothing else to do because of the lockdown. So yeah, it helped us focus. Maybe the bad side of this was we had to stop collaboration with people we wanted to work with. And
yeah, somehow time-wise we are used to this. I mean, the slow process, but it was really the human relationships that affected us deeply, like being able to work with the people that we wanted, and yeah, as much as for the festival, I guess.
No, well, I mean, aside from the lockdown situation, the question was more about, generally speaking, apart from this global pandemic and crisis, the time that often goes by between your desire as a filmmaker and the time you actually can start shooting, for example. But I guess in your case, before you've done like some school work, so maybe that it's different structure and time structure, and also you've worked by your own and created your own company. So I guess you were much more free in this regard, right?
Definitely. I mean, really just, as we are so used to this kind of really slow process, and everything that happened around us at that time got stuck somehow. So yeah, it was just kind of we were just so used to that.
Yes, and I think the time we wanted to do the movie and the time we did it was pretty short, because in part of the company we built. If we had to do that again with some established production company, I think we would have to wait maybe one year more to do the same project. So it was a pretty short amount of time.
Do you plan to produce other filmmakers, focus on Swiss production, or you will just use your production company to work on your own productions?
That's a very good question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
I mean, the initial idea was really like to produce our own production, our own movies, but we're always open to receive proposition from people, from friends, of course, and as long as we can, because that's the good question. We are not producers. I mean, not right now, but if we are able to provide everything necessary to produce a film, we can do it.
Yeah, sure. But we will focus on documentary film with John Solvay, I think, for now.
Okay. And can I ask you what you think about this new revolution for film distribution and diffusion, which is the digital one and the platform things, as both filmmakers and producers? And also, Mateo, you're working for a film festival that, by the way, had to go online during the lockdown.
Well, that's a difficult question. I mean, surely we need to find solutions and alternatives in order to not to let down all the projects that were supposed to be shown at that point. But I guess people will still try to find a way to meet in physical places. So I'm sure it will push forward the question of online platforms, but we will certainly try to stick to the proper physical cinema, I guess. And I hope.
So thank you so much, Raphaël and Mateo. It was nice having the chance to talk with you, and I wish you the very best and luck for the completion of your beautiful project.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Lili.
Lili, and I thank you, Locarno, too.